Welcome to Florida, everybody. Late July 2024. In the last video you saw, we got a lot done to that commuter wagon. For the first half of the day, my buddy and I are going to go out on his boat on the bay, grab a little bit of food, some beverages, and then I'll come back and we will get directly onto that commuter wagon. Yeah, I'm thinking about the station wagon the whole time I'm here. I know it's hard to believe, but it's raining again. At least we got off the boat just in time, man. Well, the day of being on the boat is over. It's about 2:30, time to go home now. Do the rebuild kit on the carburetor for the wagon, and then I'm gonna start messing with the brakes. I have to check the master cylinder, never have yet, to make sure that it has fluid in it. And if it doesn't, where it went. There are a whole lot of carburetor rebuild videos on the internet, so I figured I would not really go into it here, but I've put all the new gaskets in, power valve, as you see, the filter, the accelerator pump, all the stuff that's in the kit, the gaskets and whatnot. Now let's put it back on the car. Would you guys believe I've never even checked the fluid on this yet? What do you think? Is it gonna be dry? See all this rust on top though? Ah, looky there. There's a little bit of fluid in the front and in the back. I'm going to actually top those off and then try to mess with the pedal here in a minute. But first things first, let's get the gaskets on this, and also all those hoses, everything we see there. If there's a hose, it's getting replaced. This thing may or may not need to go back on the car. It's intended for cold weather applications, and I'm not really sure why it was on here, but the owner said that they did live way up north, like Wisconsin, for a while, so maybe that's why it was on it. As you can tell, that's not Ford stuff. The plate may be, but the hoses are absolutely not. And look at that. I'm gonna see if the carburetor will fit on there without the plate, and that'll dictate if I'm gonna use it or not. But either way, I have to use this vacuum line on the back, I guess, so maybe it does have to go on. But I may just bypass this. There's no real use for it in Florida. For the viewers who are of a certain age, that's how we used to make a flange for an intake. Well, for the carburetor to go on the intake. That is cast iron, brother. These days they're plastic, and they have been for like 30 years. Cast iron. Got the cool old Fomoco logo on there. Firing order on the back pad. Well, let's get this back in here. Got it all cleaned up. Gonna put the gaskets in place. Actually make sure these surfaces are clean, both sides, and then put it back in. I also don't mind this little design aspect. See that, to increase the Venturi swirl effect? Who would have thought that would have been in there? Because I think that's a Ford piece, isn't it? Some of you guys who know these. I think it is. I don't see them on the intake. Quick reminder to cut these off before you put it back in the car. You can take a picture like right now, make sure the hoses are in the right spot and all that, but these are very hardened, and once you're trying to deal with it back in there, it's gonna suck leaning over the whole engine. So take them off now. There's another reason why we're not gonna use that portion. Look at that. Thankfully, that does not share any kind of airway or anything with this, so we don't even have to block it off. Just pop it on there. And she goes back on. Make sure to jiggle around all the linkage that has to be out of the way and get it set on there just right. Don't jam it down, because you have all kinds of lines and hoses and stuff that'll be all up in the way back here. There's a line over here that brings heat up from the exhaust. See that right there? Have to make sure this line is like perfectly straight and going up in there, so this will fit on there right. I'll do that now. I always test these things by holding them up to the light. See how it's dead dark through it? Yeah, getting one of these. It says, I always take it with me, but still, CA133. If you have been watching the weather for around Tampa, Florida, you probably know that I have a small window of opportunity here to get this thing running and idling. Because Tropical Storm Debbie is coming to town. It's supposed to be basically a rain event, but I got to get this running beforehand. You're probably thinking, Sean, how can you get rid of such a piece of automotive technology and engineering? But trust me, I can. That's kind of crazy. I'll set it there for now in case I need some weird little piece of it in the future. I always save everything until the project's totally over and running and doing everything properly. I have to find a little piece to close this off. I've not been able to find the exact hose because it goes from 3/4 to 5/8. One thing I did find, however, is that a 1911, 45 ACP goes right in there. But I'm thinking, do I really want to have a bullet aiming toward the passenger compartment or actually the carburetor? But no, I don't want that. We'll have to go to plan B. Just put a pipe plug in there and screwed it down with an Allen head. By the way, I don't know if you remember me saying I tried 2 separate gas caps on this and they didn't fit. Come to find out, there's a different part number for the wagon. It's on its way. Found it on Rock Auto. Put this plug on the back and then we'll get some fuel hooked up to this thing. See back there? That's what we're doing. Looks like we can crank it. It's going to take a few seconds to get fuel back up to that carburetor. Oh, battery's not connected either. Nope, sure not. Connect battery. Look at that. Got some weather coming in. I just want to hear it run. It's going to take a moment to do that because gas is not going to be anywhere near that engine. That was nothing more than a little carb cleaner I just put in there. Pump this a few times, get some fuel up to the carburetor. Never connected that again. That could affect it. Let's see if I have it. I still don't think I can really. Man, it's going to be one of those cliffhangers, man. Come on, little girl. Big girl. Big booty Jody. Oh, accelerator pump housing leaking a little. I guess I gotta tighten that a bit. Come on, girl. Man, I am so running out of time here. Jeez, look at that. Okay. Kicked up the idle just a notch. Maybe it'll keep it going. Thunder roaring in the distance. This is how I die. Come on, baby girl. She's still very sleepy. She's like, dude, leave me alone. I'm Big Booty Judy. Come on now. Okay. A little mist to it. I'm gonna sit there and just let it run for a minute. It is running right before the storm hits. Jeez. It's a running car. Yeah, you can see right there with the vibration and stuff. It's got like either a plug wire off or it's hard to say. I've been messing with this so much. But put that on there. I wish I could show you and convey to you how absolutely flawlessly this car is running. Smoothing out the more it runs. It's low on coolant because of the obvious reasons. All the hoses and everything just been chomped by all kinds of critters, but that is now a running car. Pumping out a little bit of smoke back there. But like I said, the engine sounds absolutely fantastic. It's purring up here. All you really hear is the fan. And we got like 2 days off because of Tropical Storm Deborah. This should get interesting. Of course, that's why I have things like that and that to get around in this stuff. We're expecting some pretty heavy rain the next 2 days, but we'll be okay. She's running. And I'm getting wet. That's what I'm saying, 390 FE. The rest of my tools in the house here. Boy, she's purring, guys. Absolutely purring. Listen to that. Should die any second because I disconnected the fuel. The leak coming out right there, as you can see, which, by the way, that's just a temporary thing anyway. Wow. Smoke is very quickly disappearing. Just a very light haze back there now. Nice. Thank you, girl. We're gonna have a lot of good times coming up. I promise you that. Remember steering on the cars from this era? Ah, this is gonna be a fantastic time. Go ahead and shut it down. I don't really want to. Push in the button. Yeah, it's like officially raining now. It's a big day for me, man. Ah, good stuff.